Today, we're diving into something that makes the modern web even possible: sessions. You see, they're kind of like the secret ingredient that gives the internet a memory. Because, and this might surprise you, it's designed to forget who you are the second you click away.
I mean, can you imagine that? It would be completely absurd, right? You could never build a real relationship. Well, believe it or not, without sessions, that's exactly what using the internet would be like. Every single click would be like meeting the website for the very first time.
And here's the technical reason why. The protocol that runs the entire web, HTTP, is what we call stateless. That's just a fancy way of saying the server has total amnesia. It has no idea who you are from one request to the next. So the person who just logged in is a complete stranger from the person trying to add a book to their shopping cart a second later.
So how do we cure this server amnesia? Well, we use something called a web session. And honestly, the best way to get your head around it is to think of it like a digital wristband you get at a concert or a festival.
So, officially, a web session is just a temporary, ongoing conversation between you and a server. It's the thing that connects all your separate clicks and requests into one seamless experience. It's what lets you stay logged in or keeps items in your shopping cart. It's the glue holding it all together.
In that wristband analogy, it works perfectly. Think about it. First, you log in. That's basically you buying your ticket. In return, the server validates who you are and gives you a unique session ID. That's your wristband. From that point on, you just flash the wristband for everything you do. No need to pull out your ID and ticket every single time.
Okay, so let's pop the hood and look at the actual mechanics. How does this digital wristband actually get passed back and forth? It's a pretty clever little dance between your web browser and the server. So here's the journey, step by step. You log in with your username and password. The server checks them out, says, yep, you're good, and creates a brand new, unique session ID just for you. Now here's the magic trick. The server sends that ID back to your browser inside something called a cookie. Your browser just tucks it away. Then, for every single request you make after that, your browser automatically includes that cookie. The server sees it, looks it up, and bam, it knows exactly who you are. All right, now we're getting to the stuff that separates the pros from the beginners. This is a classic system design interview question too. Where do you actually store all this session information on the server? Because the choice you make here has huge consequences for how well your app performs and scales.
You've basically got three main options. You could store sessions right in the server's memory. Super fast, but also super risky. If that server crashes, poof, everyone gets logged out. Okay, what about a database? Well, that's safe and persistent, but it's way too slow. You'd be hammering your database with every single click. And that brings us to the gold standard, a distributed cache like Redis. It gives you the best of both worlds. It's ridiculously fast, almost like memory, but it's also persistent and built to scale.
And this is precisely why that storage choice is so critical. Imagine your website is super popular. You can't just have one server, you need a whole bunch of them working together. So what happens when a user's first click goes to server 1, but their very next click gets sent to server 2? How does server 2 have any clue who they are?
Well, you could try a band-aid fix called sticky sessions, which basically forces a user to always talk to the same server. But that's not great. If that one server goes down, your user is still logged out. The real professional solution is a centralized session store. You have all your servers, 1, 2, 3, 100 of them, all talking to one shared place, like a Redis cluster. Now, it doesn't matter which server gets the request. They can all look up the session ID in that central spot and know exactly what's going on.
Okay, so we've figured out how to give our website a memory and how to make it scale. But we've got to talk about security. That session ID is literally the key to a user's account. If a bad guy gets their hands on it, you've got a massive problem.
Let's go right back to our wristband analogy. What if someone just walked up and snipped that wristband right off your arm? They could walk right into the festival pretending to be you, with access to everything. In the digital world, we call that session hijacking, and it is a huge security threat.
So how do you protect that digital wristband? Well, there are 3 absolute non-negotiable best practices. First, use the HTTP-only flag on your cookie. This blocks it from being accessed by JavaScript, which shuts down a whole category of attacks. Second, use the secure flag. This guarantees the cookie is only ever sent over an encrypted HTTPS connection. And finally, for goodness sake, make your sessions expire. A session that lasts forever is just a permanent backdoor into someone's account.
Okay, so let's pull all of this together. If you're going to walk away from this explainer with just one core idea, what should it be? It's this, right here. Sessions are your application's memory. They're what turns the stateless web into a useful, stateful experience. So you have to treat that memory with respect. That means storing it centrally in a fast system like Redis and always being responsible about security and expiration. So sessions are this amazing tool for solving the web's amnesia problem by giving this server a memory. But that leads to a really interesting question. What if you could build a system where the server didn't have to remember anything at all? Well, that's exactly where we're headed next time when we start talking about tokens.